Oh, there are the bits. You ready for this tweet, Lewis? Get ready for it.
Man,
Later.
I'm ready.
Cover your ears. Boom! And we're live. How was that? We're live. All right, take that tweet and put it where the sun is shining, Lewis, so everyone can see it.
California.
Is the sun shining down there? It looks pretty bright over there.
It's a beautiful day today. So
Yeah.
it's a great day to stand inside and talk into a microphone.
Yeah. Well, you don't like going outside anyway, right? So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the temperature is outside.
I've started to enjoy it.
Yeah? Do you open up the window and just take a little sniff of the outdoor?
Yeah.
No, I kid. You can't win a not national darts championship from your room. You got to go in to the bar and take your utility belt with you, all your darts on there, right? That you hand sharpened, that you placed all the feathers in the ends of the dart individually so that it would fly right. You got to go in there and do that in person.
You got to pluck the feathers from the bird first. It starts. In
Oh,
the
you pluck
backyard.
them as well?
Oh yeah.
Do you have?
It's hard to catch the birds.
Well, I figured that you just raised a brood of birds in your house or something. So you actually
Oh, no.
go out, you
Wild.
catch.
Organic feathers.
What kind of bird do you go after? What makes the best feathers?
The slow ones.
So like the overweight pigeons.
Slow, stupid pigeons. Yeah, yeah. You can't.
But
I mean,
they're-
crows
yeah.
are better, but man, the crows around here.
Yeah,
They
they're way
actually
too
there
fast.
are actual murders of crows in this neighborhood, man. They're like this tall,
Really?
and they stand there and they look at you.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, oh,
You should start feeding them because they'll bring you treats.
yeah.
Really?
And then I was reading as well. They'll protect you too. They'll fly around if you take a walk. They'll follow you, and then if other people come close to you, they'll attack those people.
You're kidding me.
I don't
Well,
know if
no,
that's protecting you or protecting their property. They want to make sure that if you drop any crumbs or you croak, they're going to get the meat first.
Yeah, right. So, if you fall over dead, they want to be right there.
Yeah, they're not circling you because they're your best friends. That's for sure.
That's supposed to be really smart. They recognize people's faces and they're kind of loyal.
I heard. You probably heard about that study? I think it happened at the University of Washington where they were doing something with crows, and they had to wear masks so that the crows wouldn't recognize people's faces because they will recognize people and they'll start to pester you. It's pretty wild, man. They're like the dolphins
right.
of the air.
Yeah, I totally want to be friends. I saw someone had a picture of all the stuff that they brought, all the little treats.
It's always
Yeah.
shiny stuff, right?
Yeah, buttons and bits of jewelry,
Wow.
earrings,
Finger.
shiny stones.
Yeah, hardly ever
Hypodermic
near
needles.
needles. Now that, yeah.
That actually
Very
might
possible.
be useful. Yeah.
Thanks. No thanks.
You know how expensive needles are when you're going through them as fast as LK? All right, shout out to Keith Long. We got Jammin Harrison here. Jeff Druin. We got Streamlined. We got Flipback. iMac Pro at 27 or 32 inches. I think you know the answer to that. We got Mooperson. And then we've got Streamlined. I already said Streamlined. God, you got twice. You made me do it twice. Guys, we got a big show today. Big show today. All sorts of stuff. And to be honest, I was surprised that we were going to have anything at all. I was totally depressed all day yesterday because I was thinking, we're going to have nothing. It's going to be like the 9 to 5 cast in here. But we came up with some interesting stuff to talk about.
That's not very respectful.
You know what? That is you putting your own interpretation of that on that. Because I meant that it was going to be exciting, and you turned it around and mutated it into something bad. Because to me, that was a good thing. So shame on you, Lewis, for turning that into something mean. All right.
Well done.
Yep. And
Nice
we're here
deflection.
with national darts champion Lewis Wallace. So we're in the presence of greatness here, guys. Wait, not national darts champion Lewis Wallace. Regional? County darts champion? Citywide darts champion Lewis Wallace. Oh, baby. He was just tossing them last night over his shoulder, under his arm, and everyone was just like boing, 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 going right into the bullseye. He's like the Robin Hood of darts players. But we have no time to talk about all that because we have
Robin
so much
Hood's
stuff.
actually a horrible thing in darts.
What's that?
Robin Hood is actually a horrible thing in darts.
Why is that?
That's what you call it when your first dart goes in. and your second one sticks in the first dart.
But that's a good thing, right? Because it splits it right down the middle, just like in Robin
Yeah,
Hood.
no, 0.
Well, Maid
That's what I'm-
Marian would be impressed, but
That's a good point. So no Maid Marian for you, I guess.
Yeah, none.
Oh, well, more for me. Okay. This is going nowhere. Let's just...
Hold on a second. I gotta go get a jar of mayonnaise. I'll be right back.
Do I even want to know why? Let's not. All right,
And a
guys.
spoon.
Let's. Oh my gosh, our concurrent viewers are dropping precipitously.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
cue-
blame 'em.
let's
Not
cue-
one bit.
Let's cue up Mrs. You know who? Do I have everything worked out? I think I do. Let's hope I do. Let's cue up Mrs. You know who? Mayo. That's my favorite. I like to rub some mayo over that delicious Mr. Caney. Whoa, hold on there, Mrs. D. Jeez, take it easy. We got a show to do here. If you're ready to go, let me cue up the music, and we will get this thing going. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus-minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Aaron Elijah. Joining me today, he's joined a new San Francisco enthusiast club. They hang out, talk tech, and then once a month, they meet at the Apple Store, put on their hoods, and take any Mac, iPhone, or iPad they can carry. It saved him thousands. He's the founder of CultMac. Leonard Katie is here.
Megan, yeah.
Also with us, he's working on a new augmented reality control center for the CultMac writer room. Once the Apple headset is out, he'll be able to monitor writers from anywhere in the world. It's really impressive. And remotely activate their shot collars. He's the managing editor of CultMac. Lewis Wallace is here.
Yeah. Hey.
Some of those
Great to
typing
be here today.
speeds slow down. You
Just
can be on the
great.
beach of Italy and just hit that control button, and it's.
I said faster.
You guys got a peek at the way he talks to the writers. It came out. See, normally he tries to play it off like I'm just the one making up stories, but you guys just saw it slip. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Holy moly. I actually can't believe that we're getting this story in December, because there's usually nothing to talk about, but maybe because there's nothing to talk about, this story was manufactured to be interesting. So we have and that's probably exactly what happened, because this comes from Gurman's. Is this from Gurman's new newsletter, Lewis? I actually didn't look. I think it is.
I believe it's from the paid version of his newsletter.
Oh, there's a paid version. Is that new?
Oh, yeah. No, he has. You know, if you subscribe, this is one of my favorites, right? If you subscribe, you get access to the newsletter like an hour early.
Well, you gotta have the news.
I always see those things. I'm just like, are you really? Who pays for that reason? But he also does like a Q&A at the end, right? Then that part is not included
Okay.
in
So
the
you get
free version.
an hour early.
But he actually, I think he tweeted out the Q&A part this past time, because that was the part that made the
He's
made the big
undermining the paywall.
All right. Well, we have some details to talk about Apple's big plans for 2022, and if you thought 2021 was exciting, just wait. You're actually not gonna. I don't want to deter you from listening to the show, but if you don't have tens of thousands of dollars saved up, you actually should just stop listening now. Just don't even listen any further, because you're not going to want to hear this. So we'll talk about all the hardware that is coming up in 2022, and we'll talk about the iPhone 14 potentially losing the notch and what they're going to do instead. Lewis is going to give you a chance to win a Wacom tablet, which would be cool. This is a good one, and your chances of winning are, well, they're there. I'll just say that. You could definitely win this if you just go in and enter. And we're going to wrap up with an all-new Gear of the Year. This is our segment where we talk about stuff that we've been using over the course of the year that we still love, or love even more potentially, and would suggest that maybe you would love in your own life. So we will do that at the end of the show. And before we dive into all the fun, let me send it over to old Lewis Wallace to talk about the store, the Cult of Mac store. Oh my!
Yeah.
Look at this, Lewis. This is very festive.
I know, it's impressive. I mean,
Did you take that photo yourself?
No, man, that is obviously professional. I mean, look at was that like a marzipan mushroom or something on there?
Yeah, I like
don't
the
know
way you
what that thing
position
is.
the pine cones there.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It makes me hungry. It makes me hungry for deals. It's
Hungry for deals. I like what you did there.
stocking stuffers under $20. Under $20. Did you hear that?
I heard
That-
that. I
You know
still
what
don't
that
believe
means?
it, but
That means everything in the deals thing there on the right on the front of the store.cultofmac.com. Everything's $20 or less in the stocking
my
stuffers
oh
special.
my.
We've
Okay.
got AirTag bike mounts, which those things are
Oh, yeah.
awesome. If you have a bike and you don't want to lose it, which I don't know about where you live, but people around here tend to lose their bikes. This is a great way. Track that person down and ask them politely to
and then get beat up by
hand
that
your
person.
bike right back over.
Get
Yeah.
murdered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to take
Yeah.
your life into your own hands.
You want to plan your own murder? This is a great way to do it. You could just follow up on the AirTag location, and within an hour or two, you'll be dead.
That took a dark turn.
We're supposed to talk about stocking stuffers. In fact, why are these even stocking stuffers? These are, in my family, these are main presents.
What else we got? We got this MagSafe I never learned how to pronounce this one. MagSafe MagDaka mounting disc for iPhone 11. You can put this on the back of your iPhone 11, and suddenly you have MagSafe, at least magnetic.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Capabilities.
Yeah. Mhm.
Bunch of Apple Watch bands in there. The fantastic Apple TV remote cases, which are very nice. Although I don't know if any of these are the ones with the AirTag holder.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
this is the one with the AirTag, yeah.
It is.
The Alago one, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
Oh,
about
maybe it
that.
is.
I don't know. I think
I
it
don't
might
think
be
it is.
misinformation. It might be
Oh.
taken right off.
Yeah, it
your-
is, yeah. It says AirTag.
Yeah. All right. I don't see
Oh,
it.
maybe we're looking at not the same one.
There's also all these other Ilago
Yeah.
little AirPods cases and stuff. Those things are awesome. If you've never checked those out, go look at them. There's one, looks like a like an iPod. There's one that looks like a classic vintage Mac.
Yeah.
There's
That's one I have.
Great. And that
Yeah.
like that little Apple Watch thing that looks like a G3 iMac. A little Apple Watch holder, charging stand. There's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, if you have somebody on your gift list that is an Apple fan, these are no-brainers because they're cute, they're fun, they're very functional. It's just great. I mean, screen protector. I don't know. I don't know how exciting that is for a Christmas gift, but
Oh, great!
We're getting a sweater and
A
a pair of socks
screen
or a tie or
protector.
something.
yeah.
Very sensible.
Yeah. Here's some hand wipes. But there's a lot of stuff in there.
All right.
And
I'm
AirTags.
sold, Louis.
A lot
I'm
of
sold.
AirTags. Oh, dude, you don't need me to keep talking for like 10 more minutes about it.
I would prefer you didn't.
I-
What's the URL?
Store.cultofmac.com.
And just look for the candy canes. There they are. Look how
They look
festive
good,
that
don't
is.
they? Man, I'm ready for a pine cone scented holiday.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I honestly wasn't sure where that was going to go. I had no idea. What do you do with pine cones? In a joke, I really don't know. But
You just
One thing we should mention, there's 6
Bathe in that
pages of
scent.
accessories here. 6 pages.
I was just told not to talk anymore about it.
I mean, do we
Louis.
have to?
We've run up against a time limit here.
This podcast
This is
is
a
only supposed to
professional-
be
this is a
an hour,
very
30
professional
an hour,
podcast.
30-minute
We have
podcast.
a
So
very strict timeline
yeah,
here.
we have we're already way past our agenda here. So let's circle back and do some actual Apple stories. But if you want to check out any of these really wonderful products, store.cultamac.com. Store.cultamac.com. I will say I got the new Apple TV, the brand new one, the new 4K one. I could, I'm forming my opinions on it still. The remote, I thought I was gonna love more than I do. I'll be honest. And there are some things about the old remote that I kind of miss, and that will probably be something that I talk about eventually. Because I was expecting to love it, and I like it a lot, but
How many times have you pressed the mute button when you're trying to just pause?
yes,
Every
I
time
totally agree.
for the first month. Like,
They
why did they do that? Why did they do that?
So if you guys are listening to us, and not watching us, they put the mute button at the bottom left of the controller, and I feel like that placement is weird. Like what I was thinking they should have done is reverse the play and mute button. Is that what you're thinking
it
too?
works the same way that it works on the
Yeah.
previous version. It's basically punishing anybody who has any muscle memory built up for the Apple TV.
Is that
remote.
what it is? That might
Yeah,
be
it's
what
a
it is.
punishment.
Yeah.
Tim's like, "Nah,
I'm sure
we'll
TC.
get them this time." The other thing,
got him, y'all.
this is way off track, but the other thing that you probably don't like about it, tell me if I'm wrong about this, isn't that Siri remote like hard to get to?
Yes, the Siri button is off to the side on the
What?
right-hand side, and I don't like the placement at all.
Yeah.
It's just not as easy to use. And I used to use that button all the time.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the one thing that is, I mean, I don't know. It's we've talked
And
endlessly
the
about
other
how
thing is,
sort of
I know.
crappy it is on there, like sometimes it doesn't give you what you want. However, it is still the best way usually to find shows. And now it's like you stretch your thumb and I don't know.
I make all those same effects when I'm reaching for it. And also, it's very sharp. It just feels very sharp in your hand, which is a little bit weird.
It doesn't feel premium, does it? It almost feels like it's got a sharp edge almost.
It's just it doesn't feel as nice in the hand as the other one did, which is strange. I thought it was going to feel better.
I know.
And the other thing that I don't like, and I didn't mean to get us going on this topic, but here we are, is I don't know if you've noticed this, but like the lag between when you press a button and when the Apple TV responds is a lot longer than it was on the previous 4K Apple TV. And I thought it was going to be faster because it has the new A12 chip, and so I was expecting it to be a lot snappier, and actually it's been the total reverse. And I feel like the other Apple TV 4K, the older one, is way snappier. When you touch the controller, it's like bing, bang, boom, things are moving all around.
Huh.
And the new one, you press it, and sometimes it doesn't even know that you've pressed it. And you'll press it again, and then like a split second later, like a half second, finally it does the thing that you wanted it to do. Have you noticed that?
Well, I don't have the latest TV. I just bought the remote, and I'm using it with the previous version, so I can't really comment on what you're talking about.
All right,
but,
well.
Sorry.
That's fine, because we should probably move on. Does anyone want to hear us talk about the differences between the Apple TV remotes? There's probably like 5 people here.
Moan, groan, groan.
And before we move on, I just wanted to take one quick moment and give you all a moment of zen. Now, if you are listening, you'll have to go back and check the show notes because this is just an image. And this is just my favorite image of the year. There it is.
Is this what I think it is?
Yeah. It's just a, 2,000 pixel large image of Alex E. Heath on the Verge, header image. He's wearing, I don't know what he's wearing, but the thing is like those people think that those are some kind of new technology. They're not. That's just what he wears now. Now that he's working at the Verge, this is just how he dresses now. And this is the kind of stuff he wears on his face when he's walking around. It looks like a prop from some kind of 80s movie, some kind of futuristic 80s movie.
They live.
Looks full on Max Headroom.
I mean, the very first thing that came to my mind when I saw this is, I'll be back.
Fuck.
That's Alex E. Heath. This is the life he's living now.
It definitely has that Max Headroom is a good one. It's got that aesthetic, isn't it? And it looks like those glasses look like a pair. It looks like Cybertruck styling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is just.
Look how big that battery is to get that full 10 minutes of runtime. Can't wait to get my hands on some Snap.
What you can't see is
right, or specs. Just specs. I can't remember.
So I poke fun. These are the new Snapchat AR spectacles that Alex is testing, and I know for a fact they were like, should we feature a image of the glasses like on the table or something? And he probably was like, no, we're gonna have my picture, header image, front page, me wearing the specs. That's what's gonna happen. And what you can't see is like the spectacles are probably like 140 degrees on each side to try to keep themselves cool. So they're like literally burning his face right now, but you can't even tell because he's a professional. God, look how professional he looks.
Not even a grimace.
No, nothing. He's like he's completely expressionless.
He's immersed in a virtual world.
I was telling Lewis, Alex going to the Verge was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's probably pretty important to Alex, but it's also the best thing that's ever happened to me because this is content that I would pay for, honestly. If this was behind a paywall, I would pay for this. All right, we miss you, Alex. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing over there at the Verge. Keep trying.
Well, I think the interesting thing about that story is that it doesn't look good for Apple's AR glasses, right? Because he made it sound so primitive, and they're so they're such a beta product, and the runtime's only 20 minutes. I mean, what good is a 20-minute pair of AR glasses to anybody? And that's with massive batteries on each temple.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs the question: how's Apple going to solve these problems?
They're going to make them
AR
huge.
glasses are just supposed to be coming out next year.
Yeah. Oh, I see. For their glasses. Got you. I thought you were talking about their mixed reality headset. Yeah.
No, for the glasses. Yeah. Where are they going to put the battery? How long is the battery going to last? I mean, these are all good. I think it shows that these are pretty significant problems they're going to have to overcome.
Maybe I'm just not following the beat here on Snapchat, but I also am like, what is the purpose of these glasses? Does anyone actually use these for anything? Because
did you see the amazing video demos?
I didn't. I have to say I didn't watch it, and maybe they do something really cool that I'm not aware of. That's totally possible. But if it's just for Snapchat, is it? Are people so into Snapchat that they need a dedicated pair of 80s AR goggles to do their snapping? That can't be real. That can't be a real thing. No one actually wants to do that.
I know there was a description of a menu. Someone sits down at a table in a restaurant, and instead of looking at the menu, they get to swipe through 3D representations of all the menus of all the meals at the restaurant. And that, to me, that actually does sound like a really pretty compelling use case. If they're actual, they're pictures of the real food rather than like generic. It's probably going to, you're probably going
swiping
probably
in
like,
the air.
That's
horrible. Just horrible. Just horrible. I mean, the demos that were in there, it's like, oh, he's standing in the backyard and there's like a zombie coming after him, right? It's like a cartoon zombie. Wow. Can't wait. I cannot wait to put that on my head and have that experience. Oh, and I think there was one where he's like, tossing a virtual stick to a dog. Oh, wow. Wow.
Real dog or virtual dog?
It sounds
virtual dog.
It'd be fun if it's a real dog and he's chucking this virtual stick and the dog's just sitting there.
Oh my God. Everything I see about this stuff, I'm just like, I don't get it. Maybe it's just, I'm just too stupid for it.
You're too old, Lewis, too old.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's early days yet. I thought some of the descriptions of the things did sound kind of compelling, but
I don't care about any of that. I just love this picture.
I
don't care what these are. I don't care what they do. I just really love this picture. Yeah, go ahead.
If you
let's
could
move on. Yeah.
Like, if for instance you were able to like have a, you know how all the YouTube videos explain how to change your spark plug or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you could have an app that you're wearing these glasses, and you're looking at the carburetor, and then like a red arrow comes out and goes, oh, this is the screw you have to unscrew first. I mean, that would be super helpful, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing could be unbelievably helpful. And maybe, I mean, they talk about using this in work, right? And manufacturing and things like that. I mean, you could see how there are situations where it could come in handy, but I mean, for like, I don't know, watching movies and stuff, I just don't.
Or for Snapchat and your friends. I mean, that's
Playing
the part.
With virtual pets.
That's the part that I don't get. The AR stuff makes sense, but to use these in any kind of Snapchat scenario where you snap so much that you feel like you need an additional pair of hardware to do the snapping, which is on your face at all times. That's the part that I gotta say I just don't get. But we've talked way too long about this, so
you can just
enjoy
edit
this photo
all out, right? Just delete this whole section.
This might be the best part of the show. It's all downhill from here. Let's talk about some actual. I always try not to bury the lead every week, and we do it anyway. Let's get into the actual what we're going to talk about this show, and that is Apple's big plans for 2022, including iPad Pro, MacBook Air. We have Mac Mini, quote unquote, Pro. Hopefully an iMac Pro, which is the one at this point that I'm probably the most interested in. And I'm so interested in it that I'm really considering maybe not getting the MacBook Pro and waiting to see what Apple does. If only because I know that if they do release an iMac Pro, and they probably will, it's most likely going to be more powerful if they do the Max Duo, as we have been discussing in previous shows. And then also, I really want 10G Ethernet, which is not something that's available on the MacBook Pro. But I get ahead of myself. Let me toss it over to, who's doing this? Lewis. Take it away.
Yeah, okay. Apple reportedly plans ambitious upgrades for a number of its hottest products in 2022, including major revamps for iPad Pro and MacBook Air, as well as an Apple Silicon boost for the Mac Pro. Mac Mini is also expected to see a refresh. And get this, we've heard about this before. Next generation Apple Watch will come in a, quote, ruggedized version aimed at extreme sports athletes. People like Leander.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing.
He was the first person that popped into my head.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess this is the tweet from Gurman, right? So all of his,
Yeah.
Got it. Here's what he tweeted.
Yeah.
So, all right.
This is all coming from Mark Gurman's Power On.
Post game.
His newsletter that he sends out every week. And
Gotcha.
yeah, so he basically it's basically a roundup of everything that he's written. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the stuff he's written about in the past. But yeah, sounds like they're, planning a whole bunch of different stuff for next year.
Leander, tell us about the iPad Pro with wireless charger.
Right. Yeah, this is one of the things that Mark is predicting for next year. So it's going to be a substantial iPad Pro revamp, and it's going to bring wireless charging for the first time, according to Gurman. So there's no word on what kind of physical changes we'll see. However, Apple will need to adapt the iPad Pro chassis to implement wireless charging, since its current aluminum unibody wouldn't work. So, are we going to get some kind of MagSafe kind of thing on the back? We'll see.
That'd be pretty cool. I like we've talked about in previous shows, I kind of wonder what the MagSafe will look like, how it will manifest. It will be a magnetic connection where it works like the iPhone does, or if it's going to be more like the MagSafe on the MacBook Pro or something. That's kind of what we're waiting to find out. The thing that I'm most excited about, as many of you probably suspect, is the Mac updates, of which it looks like it's going to be a crazy year for Mac stuff. Now, remember, TC said that the transition to Apple Silicon is going to be done in 2022. So this is the year. This is the year where we're going to get all the probably the biggest announcements, I'm going to guess, because they did the M1, right? But now it's going to be all the Pro machines, right? So like all the Mac Pros, the Mac Mini Pro, the high-end iMac. And that's what I'm really curious to see what they do. So let me dive into the story here. Since Apple finally made the decision to ditch Intel processors, the Mac just keeps getting better. That is true, boy. That transition will continue next year, Gurman said, with the first Mac Pro powered by custom Apple chips. And let me remind you that Mark Gurman also speculated that we're going to have multiple like M1 Max situations where you might have like up to 40 cores or possibly even higher than that. So they are going to just put multiple M1 Maxes on the same SoC. And so you'll just have some hugely powerful machine that could be, I mean, who knows, 4 times, maybe even more powerful than the current MacBook Pros. Let's see. And then rumors surrounding, we also see a new high-end iMac. That's the one that I'm super excited about. Rumors surrounding the latter, which some are calling the new iMac Pro. And by some, I think you mean me, because I coined that like 6 months ago. Suggest the machine could feature, I'm just getting Sherlocked all over the place, Louis. Is there anyone who hasn't Sherlocked me this year? I just don't think so. Suggest, some are calling the new iMac Pro. Suggest the machine could feature an M1 Max Duo, which is essentially 2 M1 Max chipsets fused together for double the performance. There's already evidence to suggest that Apple is paving the way for this. Apple will also supposedly introduce a new MacBook Air refresh, one of the biggest yet for its most popular notebook. It could bring a next-generation M2 and an improved form factor that's even thinner. If they do that, I'm going to guess that the M2 MacBook Air will be one of the last things that they release. Because how could they do an M1 Max and then release an M2? It makes the M1 Max seem outdated from a branding perspective. So it seems like they would have to announce the M1 or the M2 MacBook Airs once the full transition is complete. Everything is on the M1 platform, and then at that point, okay, now we're going to start rolling out our M2, so people aren't confused by which one is which, would be my guess.
Good point.
That's called analysis, Louis. I mean, that's called analysis. Right. I say the wrong name. What a moron. Okay, let's see here. And the other thing I'm excited about, Mac Mini. That could be a big one. Honestly, a new Mac Mini with a M1 Max, that could be an absolutely astounding workhorse, especially if you're a video editor, and it will be probably one of their most inexpensive pro level machines, and you can get 10G Ethernet on it most likely. So it's a tough call, right? Because the MacBook Pros are out now and they're really tempting, but you could wait and see what they do with the iMac quote unquote Pro or the Mac Mini quote unquote Pro, because those could be even better than the MacBook Pro. And we don't know exactly when they're going to come out though, so it's like.
You said earlier that it's going to be all over in 2022. Is that based on what Tim Cook said? Is there going to be a 2-year transition? And he said that in 2020?
I believe so, yeah.
So are you sure it's going to be over by 2022?
Well, I thought that the rest of if the transition is going to be 2 years and he announced it in 2020, then wouldn't that mean that the transition would be complete by 2022, end of?
Yeah.
You know?
I guess.
I mean, my math is
did you
right.
do that math in your head?
Well,
I could actually follow. I just said yes.
any higher than 2 to 3 or 4 years, and the math starts getting wrong pretty quick. One of the other things that we might see next year, I'll send it over to you, Leander, is a new watch. Hopefully, that will be much different than the watch that we got this year.
Yeah, it's this is, he repeated his previous predictions about a new Apple Watch with a significantly more rugged form factor for extreme sports enthusiasts like myself who regularly spend time in harsh environments. It should arrive alongside an upgraded Apple Watch SE and of course the next generation Apple Watch 8. So 3 new watches next year, including a cheapo looking Casio one with a plastic, but indestructible plastic case.
That's interesting. I wonder, so if it has a much different form factor, I can't imagine it's going to be in the form of a case. It's going to be like a really different form factor that is going to be bulkier than the current Apple Watch. But I wonder if it would be made out of metal, because normally when they do things that are made for sports enthusiasts, they usually have a plastic shell around the outside.
And it's usually hideous neon yellow, isn't it? Plastic.
Or something really gaudy. Yeah, so I kind of wonder, because you wouldn't want to have a rugged metal form factor on your wrist, because that would be really heavy as well. So I wonder if they're going to be making like a plastic version of the Apple Watch or something.
I guess that's what it is, but they're not really. I mean, they're pretty tough anyway. I think. I mean, I've never smashed. Oh, actually, I did. I smashed a one, the Series 1 or Series 0. Whatever it is, the first one.
Immediately, right?
Yeah, I dropped
Day
it.
one. Oops.
Right on the concrete floor, face down. But since then, I think the rest of them, I've got a few scratches on the screen, and a little bit of the bands tend to take a more of a, they get a patina, but like this, they rub off. But the watch itself is like pristine, not a scratch on it. So
I'm always afraid, man. I keep like every now and then I'll bump the thing on a doorknob or something. I'm like,
Same here.
yeah, but nothing
scares
happened.
me to death.
Stuff,
Yeah.
fine.
So far.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to me the other day. I was carrying something, and I was holding it with both hands, and it was really wide. And as I was walking out through this room, my watch scraped along the wall, and I'm like, I can't move my hand because I'm holding this thing. So I was totally freaked out, and I wiped it off with a coat cloth.
Oh, nice.
Good as new, Lewis.
Nice.
Good as new.
On the wall, what happened to the wall?
The wall had a 2-inch gash, 2-inch deep, like 6 inches long. Totally destroyed the wall. But I wiped that down with a coat cloth.
And it's back to good as new.
No, it's still damaged. They don't work on walls at all. But I thought I'd try. So I'm going to have to call someone, like a general contractor, in to fix that. But that's like one of the only things that coat cloth does not work on. You know what they say, Lewis? Real geniuses use coat cloth.
Is that what they say?
Real geniuses, they use the coat cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Okay, so that's let's see. That's the Apple Watch. The one thing I wanted to mention was about the iPhone 14. Man, I saw somebody. One of my friends was showing me her Android phone. I don't even know which one it was, honestly. I have no idea which is which anymore. They make so many of these dang things, and it had a hole punch in it, and that was it for the camera. And I gotta say, it was beautiful. I was actually kind of envious. Like I don't make a big deal of the notch. It is what it is. But the idea of moving the notch into a little hole punch design on the iPhone 14, which is what I'm about to tell you about, I think that would be a really cool design. It was just off to the corner. I think it might have been a Google Pixel, like the new Google Pixel. I'm not sure which one it was, but I was like, whoa, that's cool. And then like the whole display was just picture, and then off to the side, just a little hole punch. So the story goes like this. Samsung could make iPhone 14's first hole punch display. This is for iPhone 14. Samsung has reportedly started manufacturing a new hole punch OLED display for iPhone 14 that will allow Apple to do away with the notch entirely, which I think would be a welcome change. The South Korean company already uses hole punch displays in its own Galaxy devices, negating the need for a black bar at the top of the screen. On iPhone, however, they will initially be exclusive to iPhone 14 Pro models, which, well, is that surprising? No. They're going to roll it out on the higher-end iPhones first and then trickle it down over the lower-cost models, for in the years after that. Probably the next year, all but the SE will get like the hole punch screen. So if you're not a fan of the notch, and I wouldn't say that I am. I don't love it. It's just a necessary. Well, it's what they have to do to have Face ID work, but I would love to see it be moved elsewhere. I think that would be a really welcome design.
If it's a single hole, though, I mean, that's for the camera. What about for the lasers and all the IR stuff? That they need for
That's a good
Face
question.
ID.
Maybe they'll have multiple holes, like just like a few tiny little holes in there. I mean, if they can do one hole, why not do four?
Well, remember the old? I can't remember. On an older iMac, they had they drilled a bunch of little tiny holes that were imperceptible to the eye, and put an LED behind it for the camera, and so when the camera was on, it would almost miraculously appear to be shining out of the metal. But it was because they drilled all these little minute holes. It was one of the iMacs, I think. It might have been on the MacBooks too.
Interesting.
Don't remember.
I don't either. I wish I had some kind of great color commentary to insert here, but I've got nothing. And my other problem is I've been trying to read the chat at the same time, which is never a good idea when you're trying to listen to someone talk. But let me just rattle off a few of these for the show. So Gerard Pye, he's mentioned an Apple stock price. Oh, baby. Should we take a look? Really? Should I give an Apple stock adventure update real quick?
Can we stop you? No, we cannot.
I mean, you can hang up so you don't have to hear it, but I'm going to keep going with it. So just a real quick update. So some of you know that, was it last March? I don't even remember when I started this. I embarked on a little adventure. I bought $100,000 over the course of like a several month period of time. I announced it last year that I bought $100,000 worth of Apple stock, and I was just going to see what happens. So at that time, my investment was that was before the split too, so pre-Apple split, the before times, and my stock was worth $100,000, of course, and now the stock price today, so it just finally broke through. I've been watching with sad Keanu face as Tesla skyrocketed and went to the moon several times and back, and finally Apple broke out. It was kind of bouncing around between 130 and 150, and then finally it broke out, and then it hit 165, and then this week it hit 175, and they're right underneath a $3 trillion valuation. And I think once they blast past that, well, I just hope you're ready to get strapped in for the ride. So let's take a look. My portfolio manager here, and let's see where I'm at. So my $100,000 investment. Oh, I lost $500 today. That's a bummer.
No.
Yeah. But my total profit is $61,500. So I'm now sitting at $163,000 about. So I bought just a little less than $100,000 worth, I guess. So
that's what, 163?
163.
What?
Wow. You can almost buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh, 163. Now, it's not real at this point. I can't do anything with it, right? And by next week, it'll probably be back down to mid 90s. But that's where we're at right now. Before we move on, Lewis, should I send it over to you to talk about the Cult Mac giveaway? And also, I want to do a quick plug for Cult Cloth, the cleaning cloth the real geniuses use.
Yeah. Okay. This week we're giving away something. This is really different for us. We're giving away a Wacom Intuos Pro.
Whoa, sorry.
Well, you're doing what you always accuse me of doing.
Sorry, that was a mistake. I'm not editing the notes in real time. I was trying to just get to the web page, and I accidentally drag and dropped the whole block of text. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so giving away Wacom Intuos Pro. It's a tablet. Comes with a pen. Hey, I don't know if you ever used one of these. I used to use one a long time ago.
Yeah, same here.
As a mouse substitute, not because I'm an artist. I can't draw anything, but it's great for drawing and retouching photos, painting, things like that. This is like a $300 tablet. You can connect it. I think it connects by USB-C or Bluetooth. Comes with a pen, the Wacom pen, and we're giving away one of those this week. So a little bit more difficult. Usually we give away multiple prizes. So your constant shade about how great a chance you got. Your chances are diminished this week. I hate to say, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't
still
go to
pretty
the
good.
homepage.
It's still pretty good.
You should
Usually they're
race
very
to the
good.
homepage.
This time it's
Race
pretty
to
good.
the homepage of Cult of Mac. Scroll down to where it says giveaway, and go on there and enter. All you're doing is signing up for our free newsletter that Leander painstakingly puts together every day. If you want, you could also I think you can enter by visiting our Twitter page, which I'm sure is just a very enriching experience. There's all these ways you can enter. Go in there, enter now, enter early and often. I think this one's going on for 2 weeks too, so it's even more diminished chance. I cannot
Sell it, Louis.
overemphasize how hard it is going to be for you to win this particular grand prize.
And Jeff Druin astutely points out you also get the newsletter 3 minutes early if you go sign up. So that's a huge perk, right? Instead of getting it at 3 p.m. when it releases, you'll get it at 2:57. So you should probably be charging for that, Louis. Honestly, I don't know if you've considered that, but time is money.
That is for true edge lords.
I am an edgelord. That's true about me. I also wanted to plug Cult Cloth. God, look at that logo. Some people say it's a blend of me and Buster Heine, like if we had a child together. And I think that might be true. Cult Cloth, of course, the premium cleaning cloth for your high-end tech, gadgets, television. I just got a new TV. I've been using it on that. Works great. For your iPhone, iPads, Macs, your lenses, your glasses, your sunglasses, it just works so well. Made of our cutting-edge Cult, I'm going to call it Cult Tech fiber. Boom, trademark right here on the show. It is a fiber that goes through a special process through these really expensive mills, and it breaks down the fiber so that it has a lot more surface area. And the surface area on a cleaning cloth is what gives it its effectiveness. And lots of cloths just weave a regular fiber in, and all the little loops in the fiber are what catch all the detritus as you wipe it across your gadget. But ours have drastically expanded surface area because the fibers are broken down. And then they're woven into these really super dense, super premium cloths. And if you're watching the video feed, you'll see me showing the Cult Cloth Duo right here, which has a dual fiber design. So one side is short and one side is really long. So one side great for your screens. I mean, both sides are great for your screens, but the longer side is really effective on keyboards or anything with edges. So if you're wiping down your glasses, there's that gap right between the frame of your glasses and the actual glass part. Well, a normal microfiber will never go in there and grab that stuff because it can't. It doesn't have the fibers to do that. Well, the Cult Cloth Duo, the long fibers can just reach down in there and it picks everything up. And I always say, you can actually feel it working when you rub it across your fingertips. You'll actually feel it grabbing onto your fingertips. You can feel it. You can feel it working.
Does it actually have nanobots?
We're thinking about adding nanobots in future models. And I told you not to reveal that here on the show. That's, that was privileged information. So you'll be hearing from my high-powered legal team about that. But
hey, I didn't see the webpage, man. I'm not sure is the screen sharing thing working?
Was I sharing you the whole time? Oh my gosh!
Now I see it.
I was. Apologies for making you all look at Louis for that amount of time.
Anybody who got that, man, sorry.
Yeah. So now you're actually looking at the Cult Cloth Duo. We sell 3 different kinds of cloths. We have a carry cloth as well, which is great for travel, stows away in your bag or your glasses case.
A concealed carry cloth.
You might have to have a concealed carry license to carry one of these because they're so powerful. So consider that. Check with your state locality to see if these are legal. And then we sell packs. And like I like to say now, these are the cloths the real geniuses use. So if you are someone who cares about taking care of your technology, your glasses, your lenses, these are something that you might be interested in. Cultcloth.co, and you can get a free 8x8 carry cloth with code CultCast at checkout. I want to apologize to everyone who got their orders super late. I had some people reach out to me or reach out to the customer service email that were pissed that their orders were either missing or late. I apologize for that. We had some shipping issues, and we were getting slammed with orders. Holy moly. And I think things are a little bit better now. But if you didn't get your order, just reach out to orders@thecultcast.com, and we will definitely get you taken care of. So don't feel like you're stranded there. Or ping me on Twitter. If you're having a problem and you're like, hey, I want to know what's going on with my... Just reach out to me on Twitter, @Erfon, ERFON, and I'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. All right. So we move on.
You know what?
Yeah.
One thing we did not do,
Yeah.
we did not mention the last part of that 2022 thing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's that Gurman is corroborating claims from other reliable sources, including TF International Securities analyst, you know it, Ming-Chi Kuo.
Oh, my favorite.
Who say that Apple will finally debut its first mixed reality headset next year.
Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot.
If we're talking about 2022, we gotta be sure to mention that. The device is expected to offer both augmented and virtual reality for all kinds of applications and games, including like a virtual bone you can throw to a virtual dog.
Yeah, and you can hope and pray that you look as cool as this guy right here. It probably is not going to happen. I mean, look, can any of us look this cool?
There's only one Alex Heath.
There's only one Alex Heath, but that shouldn't deter you from being interested in this kind of technology. Not all of us are going to look this beautiful in these super futuristic glasses, but you could be a close second. And I think the Apple mixed reality headset is going to be a lot more useful than the Snapchat spectacles. I mean, that much is sure. You'll actually be able to do cool stuff like send your friends your digital heartbeat that is measured from your eyeballs or something.
Yeah.
Digital touch.
You can send your friends a wink. So like you press a button, you like wink, and then you can send it, and it will show up in your friends' dual 8K displays.
That's gonna be so awesome.
I'm glad that you mentioned this because I am curious to see what Apple does with the mixed reality headset. I'm actually excited for it. I really am. And I have to give credit to Alex Heath for breaking that story at the information because before he laid out the vision for these, I was like, I don't know why anyone would buy these. I really just don't understand what the purpose is here. And then once he described it to me and laid out the premise of the glasses and how Apple is looking at these as like somewhat of an iPhone replacement and all the different things you'll be able to do with them, I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. These might be cool. If they're $3,000, I'm less interested, and that's how much he thinks that they're going to cost. But I think they're going to be pretty cool, and I probably won't get on board with Model 1. I'm gonna let you all beta test them. But Model 2, I'm there with you guys. And I think this is one of the driving forces behind Apple's stock price this week is people just, it's so crazy. I'm sorry to keep going on and on about this. I've just been living in frustration for like the last 2 years. You got like all these ridiculous meme coins like Doge going to the moon, and meanwhile Apple has best quarter after best quarter after best quarter. And every single quarter they announce their profits. And I'm like, here we go, baby. I'm strapping into my spaceship, and I've got my moon food. I'm ready to go to the moon. And then sputters out, and nothing happens. Every single quarter. And the stock actually goes down.
You should be buying options on the stock, around the announcement time.
Oh, dear.
I tried that. I lost $800 doing Apple options.
Okay.
I consider myself to be some whiz kid investor because my stocks are doing so well. I'm like, I'm going to try options. And I lost $800. So that's going to be it for me for options for a while. God, I saw one guy on Reddit.
Someone must be making money off of that, though, because it drops every single time.
Yeah.
Every earnings announcement, it always drops.
But the one time it doesn't will be the time that I buy options.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you'll be buggered, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just gambling. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, it really is just gambling. There was a guy on Reddit who he was kind of using the same logic that you just used. He was doing it with Tesla stock. He's like, Tesla stock just keeps going up. And eventually that might be true. But the way he timed it, it wasn't working for him, and he had lost like $500,000 or something crazy.
Ooh.
And I was like, dude, you know, so you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Just thinking about it.
Everyone wants to go to the moon, but not all of us get there.
Nobody's arms are strong enough to fly.
All right, is that all we got? Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention. Did we say who was going to take on this iPhone?
I think the only person who was excited about it was going to take it on.
Yeah, that was LK, right?
Is that me?
Sending it over to LK to tell you a little bit about AppleCare Plus in the new year, because we got some hot news on AppleCare Plus. Take it away, LK.
Yeah, AppleCare Plus, Apple's insurance program, has been revamped. And if you've ever paid to have your Mac or your iPhone fixed and then kicked yourself for not having AppleCare Plus, reportedly you'll get a second chance to buy the breakage insurance coverage. So normally AppleCare Plus coverage must be purchased within 60 days of buying a device, but that's going to change under certain circumstances according to Mac rumors. Anyway, so
how'd that get by? Can you log on and send a shock to the Cult of Mac writing team, Lewis? That's at least 200 volts right there.
He sounded legitimately shocked.
You know who's going to be shocked? The Cult of Mac writers. Mark my words. Literally. Okay, sorry, Leander. Go ahead.
Yeah, so normally it must be purchased within 60 days, but so an internal Apple memo says that if the iPhone or Mac that's just been fixed at an Apple store or authorized Apple service provider can then have AppleCare Plus added after the repair. So the computer must be less than a year old and in good condition. So to be clear, the customer only has the option to add AppleCare's breakage insurance after they paid for the previous repair. So it's like, oh, this is kind of like, as you were saying earlier, a little bit slippery because, you spend $1,800 to get your screen fixed on your MacBook. And then they say, oh, well, make sure this doesn't happen again. Why don't you
capitalizing on your fear, right? It's like,
yeah.
Look how bad that stung. Do you really want to let that happen again, or do you want to just drop the $200?
That's a nice computer you got there. Be a shame if something happened to it. Buy AppleCare Plus. How much is it, by the way, for a MacBook?
I think it's $400. I'd have to go back and check.
$400?
I think for AppleCare Plus it's $400. I'd have to go back and look. It might be $300. Actually, we got Konoth here. Konoth, do you know? Yeah, sorry. Someone was saying they love listening to me. They love watching me listen to Leander because I guess I had it on me. And you're talking and I'm just sitting here like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right, cool. Adam Broussard saying we need more nostril noise. Oh, there it is, baby.
Okay.
That's what you all came here for, you sickos. Enjoy that. Okay. So there you go. If you didn't buy the AppleCare Plus, you missed out, and then you're like, shoot, now I got a $1,000 repair bill because this literally happened to one of my previous MacBook Pros. I was carrying it. I lifted it up, and my hands were just a little bit sweaty. And as I was lifting it up into the air, because I had it, I don't know, the orientation. So it was like, it was closed, right? And then I had the sides of the MacBook Pro facing up and down. And as I was lifting it up, my hands literally just went and slipped right off it, and it went tumbling through the air, and it landed on a corner. It bent the MacBook Pro, and after that incident, like every day or two, it would just restart itself randomly. So don't let that happen to you.
Why were you lifting it like that again?
I don't remember why. I just grabbed it off the couch and I was lifting it up and it just,
What the?
Oil slick, man.
Really kind of bizarre.
I mean,
not how you do it.
I also put like 6 or 7 products in my hair and they're all petroleum based.
No.
So after I touch my hair, it's like,
full Gavin.
I'm going full Newsom. I'll be at the English Laundry later if you want to join me, Lewis.
For
English
early
French
dinner,
laundry.
Oh, the French
dinner.
laundry.
The English laundry. Could you imagine how horrible that would be? Fish and chips.
Gavin Newsom would never be caught in the English Laundry. That's on the other side of town. That's the place that Leander goes. The chairs are flying, teeth are getting knocked out. Yeah, that's a good point. There's only one horrible English dish to eat. Isn't that like that pie where it's like all the parts of the duck that you don't want, they're all baked in together?
Oh yeah. So what's it
He
called?
just look at his lips. He's like, "That's my favorite one."
Starry fish eye pie. Or,
Oh yeah.
Oh
What is
yeah.
that?
What is it called again?
That
Oh,
horrible
shit.
nightmare. I barely.
Yeah, what was it called? Yeah, what's that thing called?
It had all the like the fish heads in there.
Stargazy pie. Stargazy
I
pie.
cannot believe that you remembered that. Oh my-
Stargazy pie.
Stargazy pie.
Ugh.
Let's just bring this up.
Oh man, don't do it to the people.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
Don't do it to them.
There it is.
Ah.
Oh, Wikipedia wants me to
Oh my-
give them money. Oh my
my
gosh. There's Leander's
came
favorite
up with
dish right
that?
there. That's English Laundry's best dish right there, and only dish.
English laundry. That's a great idea. You know, I'm going to mull that over and see if I can start that up. I always want to do a restaurant with English goods, English
Look
delicacies.
at all those fish. Like
Beans
they're-
on toast, Welsh rabbit.
Egg in a hole.
Yeah,
Or
no, toad in a
Toad in a
hole.
hole. Yeah, toad in a hole.
Spotted
Egg in a
dick.
hole.
Pig in a poke.
What?
Look at those fishes screaming in horror.
I bet it's quite tasty.
Yeah, I bet you do. I
I-
bet you do. Yeah.
I'll bet you a place that had like a nice Sunday roast. Isn't that what it's called? Sunday roast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Where can you get that here? I mean, the closest thing to anything like that is like maybe House of Prime Rib or something.
I have not a clue.
Okay, hold on a sec. We got some info here from Konath. He says AppleCare Plus prices depend on the model. MacBook Pro 14 is $99 per year. Oh, okay. Service fees apply. You get the asterisk in there. The display repair is $99 and other repairs are $299, I believe. AppleCare Plus for the 14-inch MacBook Pro. Oh, $99 per year. Okay, so it's $200 for the 2-year period. That makes more sense. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, like a busted screen is what, $200-300 at least.
The display repair is $99. Other repairs are $299. That's kind of why I think it's just not a very good value, at least not for me. And the thing is if you buy it right, if you buy it with the right credit card, you'll get a extended warranty. Now, I should add, it doesn't cover accidental damage, but you can get a personal article insurance plan from like State Farm for a MacBook Pro for some really low price. It might be like $3 or $4 a month that covers theft and damage. So that's what I do.
You said it doesn't recover damage. It does or it doesn't cover damage?
No, so sorry. So if you buy it with a credit card that has a extended warranty like I do, then you're covered for manufacturer defects, right? So if your screen goes out, you don't know why, the keyboard stops working for the 5th time, and you're pretty sure you know why, and Apple doesn't want to cover it anymore, which has happened to my wife's MacBook Air. The keyboard's broken again. Oh my gosh, what a
Really?
disaster! Yes, what a
new one?
disaster. No. It was the butterfly keyboard, which one of the worst mistakes in Apple history. And then if you get a personal article insurance, so State Farm is an insurance company here in the U.S. They offer personal article insurance. So you pay them to cover a specific item, like a wedding ring or a computer or a camera. And then if anything happens to it, if it gets damaged or if it gets stolen, they just cut you a check. And there's no deductible or anything. And a lot of people don't know about this service. So I always, once in a while I'll mention it because that's what I do. And it's really cheap. It's probably one of the cheapest ways that I know to cover a MacBook Pro. I don't think they do iPhones. They may not do mobile phones, but virtually everything else that they do. So, all right, guys, we got to move on. We're completely out of time, but let's dive into an all-new Gear of the Year. Do you guys like that effect? Should I keep doing it?
How are you doing that, man? It actually sounds like you doctoring that somehow, or are you doing that strictly manually?
It's just a manual maneuver, Lewis. I've been doing this show for 10 years, and my microphone technique is...
It's impressive.
You know? Yeah, well, there you go. Thank you. Okay. Let's do Gear of the Year. This is our segment where we talk about things that we have been using over the course of the last year that we just really love. And we thought maybe you would want to know about these things as well. I could probably rattle off 5 things. I've got at least a couple I wanted to talk about. Does anyone want to go first, though?
Why don't you go first?
Sounds like you're fully loaded.
Don't all jump in. Okay. I'm fully torqued. Let's do this. Let me go ahead and bring this up. So I've talked about this item before. Yeah. Yes.
You're gonna save some for next week, right?
Don't
use it all up.
I've always got more.
Okay.
I've always got more powder, Lewis. Don't you worry.
All right.
So one of the things I want to talk about this episode is the Synology DiskStation DS1520 Plus. Now, before your eyes get all glossed over and you're like, I'm not interested in a NAS, which is what this is, network attached storage. Dude, this unit has just been just a monster. It's a 5-drive NAS, and if you've never used a NAS before, it's a device that changes the way you live your life. Like, it's basically all these different, it's like your own personal server, and it's just always online. And it can be your email server. It's your own personal Dropbox. So you have total control over files, storing files, sharing files. It can also be your Plex server. This thing can serve up 4K video, 2 streams at once, nonstop, all day, every day. It does so much stuff.
Time machine backup.
It can do time machine backups. You can use this as a Final Cut Pro drive over the network. That with this specific model, this is not ideal for that because it doesn't have a 10G Ethernet connection, and you can't upgrade to a 10G, which is ideally what you would want. Now you can still do it because it has port duplication. So it has 4 1G gigabit Ethernet ports in the back, and you can plug all 4 ports into your network switch or something and set up port duplication, and then it will transfer speeds instead of at 1,000 megabytes per second or megabits per second, 4,000. So that's like 400 or 380 to 400 megabytes per second. So that's pretty good. I mean, you could definitely do HD editing at that speed. You might even be able to do some 4K editing depending on what kind of files you're using. That's the only thing that it doesn't have, which I really wish that it did, is a 10G Ethernet option, which it doesn't have it. But it's got a 4-core CPU, which has been totally powerful enough to do all the things that I have been doing with it, which is using it as a Plex server, using it as a cloud. I can't even think. As a Dropbox option, so I have all my stuff stored on my own NAS. It supports up to 5 drives. Like a lot of NASs only support 4. And what else do I use it for? And then Plex serving. And they also have some great apps that you can download and use for free. So they have this thing called Synology Drive, which is, like I said, your own personal Dropbox. And you can control backups. You can upload assets from all your different computers to it. It has a mobile app as well, and you can send people links to download that stuff. You can password protect all of the stuff that you have on your NAS. It also has productivity software built in. So this is something that you could use for an office environment if you wanted to have a personal personal server that allowed you to do collaborative Excel, or I should say spreadsheets, or other kinds of office work. You could do that. You can do virtual machines on it. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And the thing is, it has been rock solid reliable. I never need to restart it. It just always works. And it's been a joy to use. It's also really quiet. The only thing I wish it had, again, 10G Ethernet. And then I really wish, and this is something that QNAP does, for those of you who know anything about NAS, is I would love to see Synology add a Thunderbolt 3 port to this, so you could plug it directly into your MacBook Pro or your Mac and use it for Final Cut Pro, and without having to have a 10G, without having to have 10G Ethernet, because a lot of people just don't have that. And 10G Ethernet requires switches that can handle 10G. It requires your computer to have 10G. It requires your NAS to have 10G. It would just be so much easier if they just added a Thunderbolt 3 port, like some QNAP NASs do, which is a super powerful feature for video editors, but usually NASs that have that cost a lot more. So I think this is $699, and
does that include the drives?
That does not include the drives.
So the drives are extra.
The drives are extra. Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention too is it has 2 M2 SSD slots, so you could plug those in, and one is for read and one is for write. So it will cache things that you access a lot or you read a lot to those M2 drives, which makes the NAS way faster for reading and writing files, which is the way I have it set up. So usually on my older NAS, when you're trying to write something, you'd have to wait for the drives to spin up if it wasn't already going, and then it would start writing, and that could take like 5, 6, 7 seconds. This is just like always there. It's always instantly available because the SSDs are just there waiting, and your most used information gets cached. So a really great unit, and it's one that I would highly recommend if you have been thinking about getting a NAS, or maybe if you haven't been thinking about getting a NAS. I feel like this is a really great starter NAS. Because it's not a basic
starter NAS. That's a 5-bay NAS. I mean, that's a total.
Yeah,
that's a serious NAS. I've got a 2-bay NAS, which is a starter NAS.
Yeah, that is a starter NAS. But the thing is once you get a 2-bay, you're gonna wish you had a 5-bay. So that's why I'm like, just skip the 2-bay. Oh,
these things are great. I got a Synology one too. I mean, I don't know if I like the software, the web-based interface. It's kind of be a bit clunky. My God, and like you said, it does so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stuff to do. It can be really daunting. But like I said, you can run your own cloud. I hate to say this, I torrent a couple of things every now and again. This thing's a torrent machine. It's super, super fast. And then, the files just sit there on the machine, on the NAS itself. So I like it. I think they're great. They're really good. And I use it for time machine backups, which is super, super easy to do. Like you said, it's super reliable. It just sits there forever, for years, and it will not go wrong.
The one thing I forgot to mention, I keep thinking of things I forgot to mention, and this is one of Synology's best features, and QNAP doesn't have this. So like there's different kinds of arrays, right? So random or arrays of disks and ways that you could set them up. And the thing I love about Synology is that you can use Synology hybrid RAID. So most RAIDs require that you have all the exact same size hard drives, which is not the way most people live their lives. You might have a random assortment of disks, and the Synology creates a hybrid RAID. So you can create a RAID with different disk sizes, which is what I have set up here. So I have like some 3 terabytes, some 5 terabytes, some 12 terabytes, and it will take all those drives and manage all the storage on the drives and create redundant backups. So if one of my drives fails, all my data is still preserved. I just have to pop in a drive that is as big or larger than the drive that died, which has actually happened to me. And then the disk station will go in and rebuild that entire drive, so your data maintains a level of safety, and you never lose any data. So if you have data that you're storing on your Mac that is not backed up, like having a NAS is a great way to offload all those files onto the NAS and keep it there preserved, so that you don't accidentally lose it. So I just think it's a winner, and it's changed the way that my network runs. It changed the way that I store my files and use my files and edit videos and stuff. So very highly recommended. That's the DiskStation DS1520 Plus. I was not planning on talking about it for this long. Lewis, take it away.
Doesn't have to be tech, right?
It could be anything you want. Your new tattoo.
Got
your new darts.
Got darts.
Is it new darts?
Yeah. No, it's not new darts. Can you see this?
It looks like a mini dartboard.
Yeah, it's a little tiny dartboard.
Oh.
And it's about I think maybe exactly the same thickness as it's called the Winmau Blade 6 Dart Dock, and it's made of sisal.
What?
What?
Sisal.
Sisal? What?
Yeah, that's the stuff that real dartboards are made of.
Oh,
right? It's this fiber, and so it's made of the same thing, and it's awesome for just you just store your darts.
Oh, I thought that.
You got it sitting on your thing, on your table there by your dartboard. You can have you just toss all your darts in there. And it's like it's this kind of craziest, cutest little thing. The thing I can't believe is that nobody ever invented this until this just came out.
So
this
they
year.
did invent it.
I was just gonna say it's been invented, right? Because you're holding.
No,
it.
I mean until this year. There's so many. Like if you go and look at darts things, people buy these like wooden darts cases that they mount on their wall or whatever, and I mean it just always has this like kind of 1970s woodworker vibe. Not really a fan. This thing is just totally simple. You just toss your darts in there and they stick, and it's heavy enough that it doesn't move around. The only thing that the bottom's not super grippy, so it's a little bit slippery, but it's so heavy.
Can you hold
that
it up
doesn't
again
matter.
so we can see it as you're talking about it?
Yeah, it's the Winmau.
I thought that you were gonna say
Dart
that this was
Dock
like an
6.
iPhone
I thought it was an iPhone
MagSafe
Dock,
charger. Yeah, like and I was like, oh, you can actually put darts in it. That is
That's
one of the
what it
most
is.
Lewis items I've ever seen.
$20. They just came out. I don't know. It's it's obviously it's for dart players.
Yeah, but who's not a dart player or doesn't want to be a
Right.
dart
Well,
player? You know what I mean?
everybody should. If you're not right now a dart player, you should go to your local dart bar and start playing.
Bart
'cause
dar.
It's fun. you're
Bart
Bart
dar.
dar. Yeah. Oh my God. Can barely talk.
All right.
So yeah, I just didn't want to talk about tech. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
fun.
fascinating listening to 15 minutes talking about the
To NAS.
NAS.
I know.
But
I honestly can't
I
believe
had to
that.
go. I had to go non-tech. I have so few things on my list. I had to save one for next week.
Okay, well, that sounds good. All right, Leander, we got to be done in about 10 minutes. Just FYI.
Okay, well, I'll
Take
make
us
it
away.
Oh no, it's going to be
I'll
another NAS.
kind of boring, but the iPhone 13 Pro,
Oh,
which
okay.
is really a great phone.
Man,
It's
I agree.
this is and this is the first time I've actually got this size. Usually I go for the big ones, but they're just too big. So this is the first time I went for the regular iPhone size, the smaller one. Actually, it's an upgrade from a mini. Last year I was using an iPhone 12 mini, so this is a bit bigger. And I finally got used to it. I mean, but what an amazing device! What an astonishing, amazing, brilliant device it is.
All the words. Wow.
The battery life just lasts forever. Like
Yeah.
I don't, I never even have to. I plonk it onto a mat, most nights. But if I forget some nights, it doesn't really matter. It's still charged the next day, and it's still got like 25% charge. The battery just goes on forever and ever. You just never ever run out. The screen is so beautiful. The cameras are fantastic. The pictures you take are absolutely great. You just can't say, it's almost like the perfect iPhone, I think, or the perfect smartphone. I can't think of anything that could be better, except maybe
The price.
what?
The price.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
price. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Aesthetically,
one other
it's really
thing.
good looking.
One other thing.
What were you gonna say?
The color.
The color.
Oh, yeah, you're
The
right.
color.
Man, you're right. Mom's minivan blue. I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
Blue. It's I'm kind of. That's a funny thing. You spend all that time agonizing over what color am I going to get? What color am I going to get? Should I get this one? Should I get that color? And then once you've got it, you never ever really look at it, do you? Yeah, I mean, like I never think about the color. I haven't thought about the color once.
I
keep
think
thinking
about it.
Actually,
I think about it.
keep looking at it and going, geez. Especially in the winter, these dark,
Yeah.
gloomy days we've been having lately. You're sitting in your house, it's dark. It's kind of a drab look, that
Yeah.
blue. But
You want to pick
but-
up and you say, you look at your
but-
phone.
But if you go outside on a beautiful California sunny day, it actually sparkles. It looks good in the sun, I gotta say. But-
I hear what you're saying. It's a bit muted. It should be a fun pop color. But the stainless steel band.
The part that you
That's-
can't see.
Yeah, right. But that's beautiful. That's a
No,
sparkling.
it is. It's just it's shocking how much that blue of the back glass, how varied it is in different lighting situations. And it goes from like, pretty okay outside to like different levels of
Pretty
dreary
okay.
and drab.
That was definitely a big bummer. I had forgotten all about that. I really had my heart set on that beautiful Buster Heine bronze that we had seen,
Yeah.
and I was so ready to buy it, and then it came out, and I was like, oh, it's just this. The blue is all we get, and I just didn't love the blue, and so my only option was to get space gray, which is the exact same one I had before, and
Let's talk about drab.
I know, and it's just kind of a bummer spending money on something and having it feel the same as it did before. But that aside, I will say the screen on this, the HDR screen, is a revelation. You can't go back. Once you have an HDR screen with Dolby Vision and everything, it is a night and day difference in the video quality, especially. I've never looked better. I gave my my wife one of the new phones, and suddenly I'm like, I look terrific in every image that she takes. The kids' pictures all look better, and now I have this. I bought an LG C1 OLED. and it supports Dolby Vision, and it's HDR, of course, and 4K. And once you get a TV that matches the quality of the video that you have in your phone, it is a night and day difference. The video looks so beautiful. I will go as far as to say this. I have a Fuji X-T3 that I used to take with me everywhere.
That's a SLR camera?
It's an SLR camera, and I really love it, but it's inconvenient to use because it's bigger, and it's another thing to take around, and then you have to get all the images off the camera, and the software is really clunky. It's not easy to use, and I'm not going to say that this takes images that are as good as the X-T3, because in most scenarios it doesn't. But it's good enough that I was actually thinking about maybe selling my Fuji X-T3, because the images that come off of this phone, this is the iPhone 13 Pro, are so good that I don't feel like I really can be motivated. I just can't be bothered to bring my X-T3 because like these are good enough. They really are just good enough in most scenarios.
Right. The best camera is the one in your pocket, as they say, right?
Well, I feel like that didn't used to be as true, but now it really is true. I mean, the images, especially the HDR images that this takes, or images in low light, the low light capability of this phone is truly bonkers. It can take images in very low light situations that still have balanced color, balanced lighting effects, and that's something that the Fuji X-T3 hands down cannot do. Like, you would have to either expose for the sky or expose for the shadows, and one of those is going to look like garbage. And this phone, in low light, it will expose skin tones beautifully because of the computational HDR, and that's something that in low light, there's no way most SLRs could do that. You would have to blow out the highlights, and it would all look, like garbage. And this phone just makes everything look beautiful.
That's something else, isn't it? Better than a DSLR.
Yeah, in certain ways, I think
in
it
most
is.
cases, yeah.
Yeah, I really think it is.
Yep.
And
it's a winner.
That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
What webcam are you using, Leander?
A Logitech one.
It keeps going blurry. It's weird.
Yeah, maybe because you're not sitting center frame, but yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, I think that fixed it. Yeah, I actually think that fixed it.
You're sitting wrong.
You're sitting wrong. Yeah, you're
I'm
using
getting
it
pretty
wrong.
hungry.
All right, well, look.
He's fading.
Leander's famished. We should go ahead and
go get a Stargazy pie.
Get the music going there. Leander saw that picture of that Stargazy pie. He's got to go. He's got to run out and get one of those right away. He starts with the fish heads first because those are the crunchiest. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys. This week, I totally forgot how it goes.
We'll see you guys next time.
I can't just do that.
Oh, you want
If you want to come tell us what your favorite gadgets are, if you want to have us review something, we're all on Twitter. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis at Lewis Wallace. Leander is at LK. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear
30+.
all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening. The wheels have officially come off. And we'll see you guys. Still going, Lewis. Still going, Lewis. Next time. Bye, y'all. Firm handshakes to Adam Broussard, the firmest. Make your hand go blue. I'm getting hungry too.
I already ate lunch. I might have a second lunch.
Oh, I like one of those early senior suppers.
An early bird special.
I ate lunch at 10 a.m. So I was up at 5 a.m. for breakfast.
It's not even 2 o'clock. How can I possibly be hungry again?
All right, guys. I'm moving the cursor up towards end stream as we speak. I feel like none of us have any good jokes left. Lewis, you look like you're trying to think of one, but nothing? No. He's
fresh out.
I got a little clunk in my speaker holes.
Very chipper. Gobble, gobble, y'all. To all of you, have a good weekend. I'm just stalling now. Okay. Now I'm at the Finally, we made it.